Welcome back to our Ask the Advisor series. I'm Josh Bradley with Capital City Financial. Today's question is pretty simple and very important. Is basically, when do I have to start taking RMDs? And that's a very important question. I'd like to start kind of with what is RMDs. So RMDs stand for Required Minimum Distributions. So if you own a retirement account, an IRA, a SEP, simple, 401k, 457, 403b, TSP, etc., you are forced to start taking distributions from those accounts at a certain age, whether you need the money or not. And the reason why the government makes you start taking money out is they want their cut of that retirement account. They gave you a lot of attractive benefits when you put the money in. Now they want to start collecting on that retirement account as well. I always joke with people is you really thought your 401k was for you? No, it's for you and the government. Now, this is a good problem to have to take out income, but once again, the government's making you take this money out because they're going to get their tax cut from this. So the RMD is something you have to do, starts at a certain age. Traditionally, or in the past, that RMD age was 70 and a half. So starting at 70 and a half, you had to start taking money out of those accounts. Now, over the past couple of years, Secure Act and the Secure Act 2.0 has progressively pushed that RMD age out even further. So it went from 70 and a half to 72. Now it's 73. And over the course of the next 8 or so years, that number is going to continue to grow up to 75. With that being said, if you're 73 today and you have a qualified account, you do have to take a distribution this year. For that. And so the government pushing out these RMD ages seem like a good benefit for retirees. And it can be a good benefit for retirees to not have to take money out. The problem is it puts a lot of retirees into a trap. They think the old rule is you never want to pay taxes or you don't touch your IRA account until you absolutely have to. And the government just gave you several more years where you don't have to take money out of your retirement account, which means you don't have to take distributions and you don't have to pay taxes. It all seems nice and seems like really nice of them to do that for us. However, one of the main purposes of this was to push out distributions into future years when they know tax rates are going to be higher. Now, for each individual person, your tax rate may go down, but for many retirees, with the sunset of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act coming up, and if you just look at the spending and our deficit, tax rates are probably going to go up in the future. And so if you believe taxes are going up in the future, do you really think it's a good idea to avoid taking distributions today, paying a lower rate versus paying a tax rate higher in the future? So that's RMDs. Now, the other thing is if you don't take your RMD and you forget, what happens then? Well, you can try to ask for forgiveness. However, the government's traditionally going to penalize you 25% if you miss an RMD. So not only do they make you take it out, make you pay taxes, but they're going to penalize you if you make a mistake. And then they're going to still make you take that distribution, which means you're going to pay a penalty and taxes on top of it. So these are rules you definitely got to stay on top of. So those are the traditional RMD ages, 73 right now, and it will go to 75 in the future. The exception to that is if you have a beneficiary or what's called an inherited IRA. If you inherited an IRA from somebody who deceased in the past, once they reached or would have reached the age of 70 and a half, you have to take RMDs. So if you're a 50-year-old inherited an IRA from your, let's say your grandmother, that she was over 70 and a half, you actually had to take RMDs on that inherited account, and you still do. However, the new rule with the Secure Act, it not only extended out the RMD age, but if now that same grandmother was to pass away at 80 and left you an IRA, you have RMDs, but you also have to now cash that account out completely within 10 years. So those are additional rules when it comes to distributions, not just on your regular accounts, but any inherited accounts. So especially if you have an inherited IRA or you intend to leave behind a 401k or anything like that that to your kids or grandkids, you want to make sure they know these rules very thoroughly.